Hey, this is Anjanette,
And I'm Sean.
and this is Take a Fool's Advice, our podcast. And we started this podcast in hopes that our story would help someone else.
Correct. And basically, like you said, just something for me, like I said, it's therapeutic for me. And it's also, I know what's the stories that we have now that I think about it, because I used to tell me all the time about writing books and doing this type of stuff. But I don't think I'm that interesting, but I do know that I see a lot of people as I get older suffering through some things that I went through, and I probably give them a little better advice because I actually went through. You got those two results. You got the good consequence, or you got the bad consequence. And most of the time, I suffer the bad. So I think the bad voice is the better voice of reason because somebody that's been through it, done it, is a better, I ain't gonna say teacher necessarily, but at least the person that's going through it know that they're talking to somebody that's been going through it or went through it as well.
Right, because if they're anything like me, I kind of don't listen. If you ain't been through nothing, then I kind of don't listen to you. Even in the Bible said, to whom much is given, much is required. And that when God forgive you over and over again, you have more, you appreciate it more. So hopefully by people hearing the story of someone that's been there, maybe that young man won't go to prison. Maybe he'll walk away. Maybe he won't, or maybe that young girl will find more value in herself and walk away because.
Well, I want to try and interrupt you for a hot second, if I may. And I'm saying this only because no matter how humble I get, some people need a bug whooping. Some people need to be checked. Just being real. Now I know as you get older, you should think better. But what I mean by that is this. Sometimes I think a person always should express how they feel in a situation that makes them uncomfortable if they have the option to do that safely without putting themselves in trouble. Me, on the other hand, do you understand what I just said?
No, say it again.
What I'm saying is this. You were saying that, going through a situation where they can walk away from it and certain things like that. What I'm saying, I'm not against violence. I'm not pro-violence, but I'm not against violence. And what I mean by that is I've been in situations, or I've seen situations where some people just will pick with you till you have to fight it or you have to do something. It's rare, no doubt about it, but there are instances. So I'm trying to, my mission now, especially as I got older, is to get a younger guy knowledge. Be a soldier. Don't be no coward. Be a soldier. And I ain't saying walking away is a coward, and I'm not saying being violent is a champion. What I am saying, you need to stand your ground and be able to voice how you feel, and don't allow anyone to taint that or allow you to feel like, you wrong because you stood up for something. Because a lot of things we done went through in life, especially in the times of Martin Luther King, of our forefathers, I think a little violence should have been done. And some of us was like, no, Martin Luther King wasn't into that. But sometimes you have to defend yourself. You get what I'm saying now? And that's all I'm saying. So I was interrupting you just to say, me personally, I'm gonna walk away from things that need to be walked away from, and things that don't need to be walked away from. It's got to be handled in a certain way. I will do that because in life, people look for weakness, and if they know you, and let me tell you, I don't have to practice that. I haven't had to practice that because when people know who you are, and they know that you really don't bother nobody, you keep yourself in a certain way, you carry yourself a certain way, you usually don't run into those problems. So then you, in my opinion, when you're doing that, you live in a certain way and you carrying yourself a certain way, you shouldn't have nobody disrespecting you doing things. I'm just saying it because it's wild out there. It really is. It's very wild, and like I said.
Some people might look at this podcast and which is can be a positive thing too. And just from talking to us, they might be like, hey, I want to take the opposite road than what they took. You know what I'm saying? Being honest, some people might just look at it and be like, man, the things they went through or the things they did, they might think some people, and they could be right too, that the things they done, they caused some of the grief that they went through. So I don't want to be like Anjanette. I don't want to be like Sean. I hear what they're saying, but I'm gonna go the opposite way.
And you know what? In the essence of what I'm saying, the same thing you saying. Only thing I'm saying on top of that, I'm agreeing with you 100%. Especially like I said, as I get older, I just don't like people who don't, like you said, when somebody don't know what they talk. I mean, haven't been through something, you really don't pay them no attention. You know, in a sense where they talking what I'm saying the same thing. So people have to know that you're gonna stand your ground if necessary. People got to know that there's a consequence if they violate do certain things to you, or the things that you vowed to be your sacred and protect. That's all I'm saying.
Me and Paxton had this conversation, and I can see his part.
Who was Paxton? For people might not know who Paxton is.
Paxton is my husband.
Okay, there we go.
So me and Paxton had this same conversation, and I was like, somebody that haven't been through nothing in life, then most likely I'm not gonna listen to them. But just like he was saying, maybe those are people you should listen to, because they didn't take the wrong road. They didn't have the hard time. So that's why it's good to have all perspectives. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes those are the people to listen to, because me 15 and pregnant, another young woman might need to listen. She might be headed my way, but it might be a young female that haven't had those thoughts yet. And she might see the woman that went through school, went through college, got her career, got her business, and then had kids and was successful with that. So this podcast I wanted to make you think independently. Don't take my advice, but hopefully this podcast will make people think individually, and because I'm big on let me be me, and I'm gonna let you be you. There's no right and wrong.
Right. Now let me say this, and I'm gonna ask you this question. And I guarantee you can answer this question today, but many, many years ago, you couldn't answer this question. Okay. Do you like the person you are?
Yes.
Do you love yourself?
Yes.
You can honestly say, and you feel good. I mean, you really mean that, don't you? Mm-hmm. But there was a time in your life that you couldn't answer that question, could you?
I would have said yeah too.
But that, listen, let me say this. It's the reason why I said that, not the other stuff I just said about you lying. But I can say that now. And what I mean by that is this. Out of all, even though those people who have not been through something, telling you something, I agree 100%. If they're doing what we said, we experienced the bad end example, they experienced the example of not getting into trouble or whatever. But many, like you get what I'm saying? Both of us went through something and got our consequence. Some people are lucky or whatever, but anyway, those people probably love who they are at this age as they get old as well. I couldn't be me if I hadn't went through the things I went through, and vice versa. That's all I'm saying. So no matter who I meet in this world, they're not going to never be loved more than I love myself. Meaning, I can see the most magnificent man, smartest man in the world, or the most beautiful woman in the world, and they still wouldn't make me feel as if in awe to say, wow, I wish I could be them. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I know what you're saying. I'm saying, yeah, I would have said back then I loved myself because I did. And as I'm older now, I've had more life experiences. And would I change any of those things that I went through? No, because I would not be the person I am today without those experiences.
Right.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And the reason why I said that is because I can't start wishing that I did something and not have the whole me. It's things I regret. And some people say they don't have regrets, but I do regret things in my life. And I wish that I could have did different or or changed. But I still wouldn't want to swap loving who I am, understanding my strengths, knowing how strong I am, and how you know how I'm able to withstand things and keep my mind and keep my sense of humor, keep me.
But
So
wouldn't you say that, okay, yeah, I love myself today, and the circumstances of my life made me this person today, and I'm glad I wouldn't swap with nothing else, nobody else. But at the same time, you strive to be even a better person. To because sometimes I sit and think, what's the purpose of it all? So even though I'm happy today with myself and I love myself, this is not it. Now, am I happy with this being it for me? Never.
what you mean? What you mean this being it?
I'm just not satisfied with this being it for me. I want to do more. I want to grow more.
You talking about in your life, physical life right now?
Yeah, in my life, yeah.
Oh,
not heaven, not when I'm gone, because I know that's gonna be all.
Well, that's what I thought you were saying, and I thought you wanted to be one of these immortals.
No, I'm saying I want more in life. This is not it. I want to learn more. I want to be more, and it's more to life. And
let me ask you a question. Because I was talking to a young lady today, and she was talking about how she had been raped and how she can't get it out of her mind, right? How she can't stop reliving it. And this is why she used drugs. And I told her, I said, you know what? I done been in a place where I was at hurt, where I needed somebody to blame, or I needed to shift this off of me. I've done it not only in the past, but I've done it in the future as well. But I realized I had to question one person. And I asked, did she believe in God? She said, yeah. I said, I had to understand why God gave me breath to live. Long as I got breath in me, I can never beat myself down to the ground to where I'm killing myself intentionally. So I had, as I'm talking to her, because I always tell people this, and I mean this, I'm telling you this well. When I tell a person something, I'm talking about myself as well, because I need to practice and better myself. I never want nobody thinking that, hey, I got it all, but I recognize things in myself and others, and I do try to do it. Might not be that successful with it, but I do try to do it. But long story short, and using you as I was using this young lady, what I'm saying is, whatever is stopping you from doing what you not want to do, that's your enemy. But if it's reality, meaning I'm 5'9", I'm not gonna be 6'3". I don't care what nobody do, how bad we wish it, I'm not getting to be 6'3". That's not a reality. And I'm not gonna be able to go to the NBA. That's a reality. You can do what you want to do. We have reality. That's the truth.
And just to go back to that young lady you was talking about, and I'm just gonna say it. So it's a sad thing when you're hurt as a child, but then you allow that person by using drugs, you allow that person to keep hurting you because you're hurting yourself still. So if you never heal, you never ask God to get you, because it'll take God to get you through that. But this person hurt you. So now you hurting yourself. And honestly, it don't make no sense. And I know it's hurting people out there, but that logic don't make sense, because you can have 10 kids in the same house and say 10 kids been molested and 5 turn out to do drugs and do everything else, but then 5 say, I'm not gonna let that person win. I'm gonna be something in life. I'm gonna do something in life. So to me, that's just an excuse to use drugs.
Well, first of all, I wasn't saying she was right. I was basically saying the same. I was telling her the way to get over the pain is you living still. You have a purpose to be here. In other words, when I was in my prison cell, no matter how hard it got, no matter how many calendars flipped, 2012, excuse me, was what that calendar had to say from 1992 to 2012. I had to do that. I had to sit in a cell without women, without all kind of stuff, and keep my sanity and be like, it was JJ's fault. Don't nobody send me no money. Don't nobody do this, that, and the other, whatever it may be. But then I had to be like, after I get that out, there's nobody else to be mad at. I'm mad at all the people I can be mad at for years or whatever. Because this ain't no few days, a month. Then once that get old, now who is gonna be?
And you only hurting yourself. And most of the time, the person that hurt you, they didn't went on about their life, living a gravy life.
Without a doubt. But I wanted to say this with that, because the important part was this. I had nobody else to go to but God. I had nobody else. I done blamed every living creature in the earth for my problems. So let me blame God. I didn't blame him because I had got a little wiser to know I need to seek. I need to find out why or what is wrong with whatever's going on with me right now. So I was a little better than I was back then. I'm talking about some years, thinking it was everybody else's fault. But then once I asked God, all he said was, why you think you still alive? Why you still living in here? Why you ain't stabbed up? Why ain't this happening to you? Why ain't you just go get the job in the kitchen? Why don't you go do something? So instead of sitting back doing that, I understood I had to live. And the voice kept telling me, you're gonna go through some more stuff, might be worse than this. That's how I used to think. From being in prison for 20, what can be worse than that but dying? I used to think that every day. So stop acting like something wrong, because you're gonna have to go through some more worse stuff. You're gonna have to go through some more. So I trained myself to think worse stuff was gonna happen.
Now you need to scoot back because your whole head not in here.
Oh, I got a big head.
Oh, yes, you do.
Can you see me now?
Yeah.
So you had me on this whole time, head cut off.
It was going in and out.
Oh yeah, I like to move, y'all. I'm animated. I'm sorry. I ain't got I told you, what is it? HD? What you say it was?
I don't remember.
I'm too old for that now, though, but I still got a touch.
ADHD.
Whatever, but back to it. What I was just saying is I started trying to find outlets because I started understanding life, meaning just the word life. I'm living. I'm a living being. If this house blew up right now, and everybody in my, let's say the whole world blew up, God forbid, and I was still living, I'm not gonna be thinking about dying. I'm gonna be thinking, why did I live? You get what I'm saying?
And that's what I've been thinking about a lot lately. We all got a purpose. It's more to life than this. God, we are here for a reason. You know, what is your purpose? Who are you to touch? Who are you to help? You know, will you be remembered? You know, once you leave, once you go in that ground, are you just like you never existed before?
And I'm glad you said something about being remembered. And I told you this, and I used to say this all my life. I said, I'd have done so much bad in my heart, my mind on this earth. I don't want to leave this earth, but to be remembered. I'll always be remembered because of my prison record. So I gotta do something so at least I can be like a rock. You know what rock is, don't you? The guy, what's his name? His name is Rock. The actor Rock.
Yeah.
Went to prison, came out, and became, a household name. I gotta at least put a good mark on this earth. So I'm blessed to be with you, sis. I love you to death. It's an honor because this is my good part that will always be able to be remembered. Me, another part of me. You get what I'm saying? And I'm gonna always be me, but being me, trust me, and I'm not.
Might actually help somebody. Even if it's one person may actually be inspired, help, or take a piece of something from this.
From your mouth to God is. And that's what it's all about. Because like I said, I look forward to doing this every week. Me and Anjanette, we don't practice this. We don't really script it or not like, we don't script at all. We might have a little conversation, but we talk so much. So, and I just felt.
We might do some scripting later on down the line or whatever. Yeah.
See, you never let your right hand know what your left hand know. So, but, we just, it's really in our hearts to do that because, and it's getting ready to be time for us to tell y'all our real story because we talked about being kids. We got past that. I'm gonna hit the teenage years a little touch. I was a little touch when I became from 12. 12 was my last. Is that adolescent? Let me get up here that. Yeah, well, my last adolescent years was my most life-changing year because that was a year I lost my mother. And
let me tell people about my childhood because you told them about yours.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Because you had said some of yours was all, I didn't have no problems. Didn't get whooped. You got beat bad, Sean. You were saying all that about me, so I thought you was cool.
Well, my childhood this is what I remember of my childhood. I remember godparents. I had older godparents. A set of godparents and a half a set. I had Rosie and Rex. We both had Rosie and Rex, and I wish I had my photo album. I have a picture of me sitting on.
You got a picture of Rosie and Rex?
I got a picture where I'm sitting on Rex's neck, and he's walking me down the street, and he always had a cigar. Yeah, I got a picture.
I remember that picture. You got that?
Yeah.
Rex, little light-skinned bald head got one.
Yeah. And he always had on work clothes. Yeah. So I got that picture. I got a picture of us over Rosie's house. It's kind of a dim picture. And Rosie, I think she had on red. Because we stayed over there. We stayed like up top.
We stayed in the top apartment. But I bet you don't know what Rosie's nickname was for me.
What?
You don't remember? Called me Flintstone. Oh. Because I would always ride my tricycle. This is how long this woman knew us. I used to ride my tricycle with my feet instead of pedaling. And she called me Flintstone. You don't remember calling me that?
Yeah, now I do. And even after we got older, after Rex passed, then we were, we was in school by this time because we knew them from babies. But then later on in life, as we got a little older, we still would go see Rosie. Remember, Daddy would take us and we'd go to her apartment. They'd leave us. She'd kiss us with her wet. She had gold.
I hate them kisses.
And she had a wet mouth. She always drank beer. She was good as gold.
Liquor. She had a gold tooth to it.
Big gold tooth. And
always. And you know how crazy that, not to cut you off, But you know how crazy, you know how old we were?
We were little.
I'm talking about how old?
Well, from babies on up. We
And
weren't no old. Yeah.
I used to ride a tricycle.
Yeah, we was little, and I remember. You remember her taking us down the street to the park on picnics. She'd make her own picnic. And later on in life, I would do that with my kids. We didn't have a car. We'd walk like we walked with Rosie. So people really have an impact on your life as a kid. Then you get older, you don't realize. But Rosie, Rex, they had a big, big impact.
Ollie and Henry.
Ollie and Henry on Ferry Street. I remember I would just run down to their house, and she knew when I came, she'd fix me a bowl of ice cream. I'd sit at that table. Neither one of these older couples had their own children. And I'd run in the house. She had these dogs. They were mutts, low to the ground. And I'd run in her house, and I remember her house used to smell funny. That was from the dogs, I guess. I would eat my bowl of ice cream.
Oh yeah, she had on the poodle like dogs.
Yeah, and I'd run out the door, and they'd be like, "See you next."
You know what she used to make me as a kid. I loved it.
What?
She used to make spaghetti with hot dogs in it, and I loved the way she made it.
I remember
it was nice. I mean, I got so many memories. I got memories from being down south when we went only once. Went to the funeral. Remember that?
Yeah, I went twice.
I'm talking. You went once when we were kids. You went twice when we was kids?
I went one time for Easter.
You did. I remember that because you seen Bug them a couple times.
Yeah.
No. I just can you see me?
No, you didn't put your phone on Do Not Disturb, did you?
Yeah, I did.
And it's still going through?
Yeah.
Well, we only got 2 minutes. Two minutes by my clock. That was fun reminiscing about them. But yeah, had a fun childhood. And I remember even when we lived on Ferry, it was a corner store. Was it Sam or George? Sam's maybe. Well, it was a corner store, and I used to just go to that corner store. A little girl just walking down the street, waving at the neighbors, and I go in and get what I wanted, and wave at the guy Sam behind the behind the counter. I think it was his name was Sam or George. I can't remember his name. They were like, I don't know if they was Arabs or Indian something. But he just would put it on my dad's bill. So yeah, we had a good childhood. But before we go, here goes Sean again. I'll admit him. But before we go, I'll give my advice, my food's advice. Turn your camera. My food's advice is slow down. And I was dealing with this today. Slow down, because I got so much stuff going on. I got these businesses, home, and my mind is always going, working. And it was like, enjoy the moment. So I went outside on the patio, and I just sat out there, and I closed my eyes, and I just could hear all the sounds around me. And it was like an orchestra for God. It was like I heard birds, I heard wind, I heard dogs over here, and just slow down and be present in the moment that you're in now. Don't think about what you got to do later, what you got to do tomorrow, or what you're going to eat. Be present in that moment and be grateful and thankful for that moment. Go ahead, Sean. You got about 40 minutes.
Well, I really, as far as my food's advice is for today, is basically, always be genuine with yourself. I mean, what I mean by that is be you. Be you. By being you, you're going to learn that there's nobody on this earth better than you, more smarter, none of that. You just got to learn how to be you. That's been my food advice. Food, trying to be somebody who can't. get you in a lot of trouble, or you're not.
All right. Another great episode.
Love you.
Bless. Check out my jewelry on Angie B 522 Jewelry. God bless. You see that picture pop up?
Yeah. That's you like Michael Jackson?
Yeah, but I don't know why it popped up.
I don't know, man. These phones do